how they are snaking like through. Yeah, that is so cool.
Let's just watch this for the next 16 minutes.
I think it's
much more, everybody.
Much
it's
more
on
interesting.
Loop.
Well, you heard it from Siggy. Thunderstorms heading our way. Now in entertainment, actor John Lithgow making history at the Tony Awards Sunday night, nabbing the win for Best Actor in a Play. The 80-year-old, now the oldest man to ever receive a competitive acting Tony. Lithgow was honored for his work in Giant, a drama about children's author Roald Dahl during a period in the 1980s when he drew backlash over anti-Semitic comments. It's the third career Tony win for Lithgow, with his first coming decades ago back in 1973.
A federal arson trial is beginning for the man accused of sparking last year's deadly Palisades fire in California. 29-year-old Jonathan Rinderknecht appeared in court for jury selection. He has pleaded not guilty to starting what became one of the most destructive wildfires in California history. Prosecutors say Rinderknecht started a fire on January 1st, 2025, and it burned undetected deep in root systems before flaring back up on January 7th. The Palisades fire ultimately killed 12 people and destroyed thousands of homes. Rinderknecht faces at least 5 years in prison if convicted. Apple is expected to reveal a new version of Siri at its Worldwide Developers Conference. It's trying to catch up to competitors in the AI marketplace. Apple has fallen behind in the AI race. Its Siri overhaul has faced delays, and some features that were announced in 2024 still haven't arrived. The tech giant is also set to reveal software updates. Those could affect billions of iPhones, iPads, Macs, and Apple Watches.
Ben Weinman, Kathleen Dozier, and Elena Margot, bringing you the content that connects our community. You're watching NonStop Local Montana at 5.
Good Tuesday evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us tonight right here on NonStop Local. I'm Ben Weinman.
And I'm Kathleen Dozier. We begin tonight with our big story. More than 3 decades after 2 women were found dead inside a Missoula nursing home, prosecutors have filed homicide charges in a case that remained unsolved for many years.
Yeah, NonStop Local's Kendall Hudson leads things off tonight. He joins us live from the Missoula Health and Rehabilitation Clinic. It was formerly Riverside Health Care Center, where investigators say that crime happened way back in 1990. Kendall, what do you have for us tonight?
For decades, investigators have had no evidence or no leads on this decades case. Now, I am sitting not too far from the facility where the both victims of Bertha Scott and Nancy Linderquist had been killed just months in regard to each other in 1990. Now, this is according to the Missoula County Attorney's Office, where advances in DNA technology and years of work by the Missoula County Sheriff's Office Cold Case Unit helped investigators develop new evidence that led to charges against 64-year-old Nikki Dean Gardner. Now, prosecutors say biological evidence collected during the original investigations was preserved and recently retested using modern forensic techniques. Officials say bringing charges now is about more than just solving a case. It's about finally providing answers to a community that has waited more than 35 years.
Finally having an answer and a conclusion to this is just really, really important. We want to see justice done for the community, for the victims, for their families, and I'm just really glad that we were able to solve this, because anytime you have 2 murders like this and you don't have a suspect, you don't have any charges filed, people are fearful. And Missoula is still a relatively small community, and so it's just good to have answers.
Currently being held at the Missoula County Detention Facility on 2 counts of deliberate homicide as the case moves through the court process. Now, we will keep following this as it progresses. Here in Missoula with NonStop Local, I'm Kendall Hudson.
Kendall, thank you very much. Let's go a little farther beyond Big Sky Country. How about head outside of Earth's atmosphere tonight?
Yeah, NASA has officially unveiled the crew for its upcoming Artemis 3 mission, the next major step in the agency's effort to return humans back to the moon. Now, 3 Americans will make up the 4-person crew: Andre Douglas, Frank Rubio, and Randy Bresnik. Douglas will be making his first trip to space. Joining them is Italian astronaut Luca Parmitano. Now, the mission is currently targeted for late 2027 and will serve as a critical test flight ahead of future lunar landings.
NASA says the crew will fly aboard the Orion spacecraft and test technologies needed for missions that go deeper into space, including docking procedures involving next-generation lunar landers. Agency officials say the mission is a key milestone in the Artemis program goal of putting astronauts back on the moon as soon as 2028.
I'm grateful that NASA has allowed me to be part of this incredible group of people, of this crew, and for letting me fly. But we wouldn't be going anywhere without fuel, and the fuel that lets everything move is right here. Maya, Sarah, Marta, my extended family here in the crowd. You are the energy that feeds my soul. And your love is the spark that ignites every passion.
If successful, Artemis 3 would mark another major step toward establishing a long-term human presence on and around the moon for the first time in more than half a century.
Okay, folks, let's switch gears tonight. Let's talk about sports. A very special treat for you this evening.
Yeah, and to talk about sports, we've got to bring in sports director Sean Rainey, obviously. Maybe he'll pop up here soon.
Now from SWX NonStop Local Sports, time for your rain check with Sean Rainey.
Oh, let's see if we can get Sean. Can we get Sean Rainey up here, folks? Is that possible? Hey, Sean
There
Rainey.
he is!
All right, we're working out. It's a new segment. We're working out the kinks. All right. For this week's rain check, we're gonna check in with a couple familiar faces. Because being a sports director at a Montana TV station, the goal for me and really the company is to give our young reporters the foundation and tools they need. So if their dreams are to work in bigger markets and in bigger cities, they can do so. And well, there's Zach Kaplan, who worked for us in Helena and then was by my side in sports in North Carolina. He's now covering the Carolina Hurricanes. Meanwhile, Alex Eshelman, our former Bozeman sports reporter, is in Las Vegas, and she's covering the Golden Knights. So a couple of former SWX coworkers now covering the two teams going head-to-head in the NHL Finals, and they're having a blast, and they have a little message for us back here in Montana.
I'm eternally grateful for my time in the Treasure State, covering Montana State, covering Montana, covering the Class A, B, C schools, you name it. It is not lost on me that I would not be here covering the Vegas Golden Knights if it weren't for my time in the Treasure State.
Alex Eshelman, it's pretty cool on the other side of the country, able to take in things from T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. But I'm back here in North Carolina and just wanted to say hello from Lenovo because what a series we have, and of course missing everyone back in the Treasure State.
Love you guys, and always rooting for the Treasure State.
Oh, and Alex, Zach, we miss and love you guys so much. Montana definitely was lucky to have you guys, and it's going to be a lot of fun covering and watching the series and watching both of you guys covering it from their points of view. So really, really cool.
I think it's really cool, Sean, what you said, and I agree with this even on the news side as well. But like that's our goal here. We, of course, everyone in Ross, Montana understands journalistically this is a starter market. We hope that folks learn here, grow here, and then leave and go on to bigger and better things. A Stanley Cup Final is a big deal.
Or they learn and grow from me, and then they become the news anchors.
Yeah. Oh,
you know?
yeah. Hey. Listen, I owe a lot to Alex and to Zach because
we love both of them.
Yeah. Yes, love them so much. They talked me into taking this job, and look at where it's got me.
Yeah, pretty cool
and
stuff.
It's a really awesome NHL series as well. So
yeah, we have the NHL Game 4 coming up tonight, right,
yeah,
Sean?
Tonight. It'll be a lot of fun. Can Carolina tie it up at 2? We'll find out in a little bit.
Pretty cool to see their faces back on our screens.
Oh, so good.
Yeah.
So good.
Okay, it's time to switch gears, bringing in the fourth member of our team, talking about the skies.
Yeah, weather forecaster Elena Margot joining us. Elena, you know Zach. I'm not sure you got to meet Alex. You would have loved Alex, but you and Zach of course, knew each other very well. And yeah, cool to see those folks.
So fun. Yeah, I didn't know Alex, but I did know Zach. So seeing him here just kind of It made me smile.
Yeah.
Warms the heart, warms the heart.
And we kind of need warmth right now because it's a little chilly across Montana today.
I know, tomorrow to be a little bit chillier, so pack that extra spring layer. It's not officially summer yet, guys, so yeah, we're still in that spring pattern. Good evening, everybody. A lot to talk about weather-wise. We're going to start with a time lapse over the Missoula area, then we'll move into our current and future cast models. Starting in Missoula, this is a time lapse taken on our Stockman Bank City Cam. The morning started off fairly sunny, but you'll see in just a couple of seconds storms rolling through and our camera lens getting wet, and then of course blue sky trying to poke back out. That was a common sight across much of central and western Montana today. High temperatures reached the 60s in Missoula, Butte, and Kalispell, 70s for our friends in Great Falls and Billings, something closer to the low 80s for our friends in the Glendive area. All of us cool down again tomorrow, but we do warm by the end of the week. Latest drought monitor is still tracking the best conditions between Kalispell, Missoula, and Helena. Good news is that we have seen that extreme drought between Cut Bank and Great Falls shrinking, and we'll keep you posted on those other red patches closer to Dillon and Glendive as well. Current satellite radar picking up on some lightning between Dillon and Bozeman, as well as between Bozeman and Lewistown. Some isolated showers and thunderstorms closer to the Hardin area right now. More rain headed toward Red Lodge, and overnight tonight, even a chance for snow. Yes, snow in Glacier Park. We do have some tornado watches from areas of the Dakotas all the way down into that lower Midwest region. Billings for the next couple of hours with a 30% chance for showers and some isolated thunderstorms. Bozeman 80 to 70% chance for showers and isolated storms. Missoula with a 70 to 60% chance. Great Falls and Helena should stay a little bit drier. I'll be back with a longer look at that forecast.
Elena Margot, thank you very much. And in past weeks, we've seen wildfires kind of popping up across the state of Montana, meaning it is time to get ready for everything that fire season has to offer.
Yeah, you know, our Ryan Tuhill, he is at the Missoula Public Library ahead of a panel on a wildfire smoke, and he spoke to people there about how to kind of prepare for what's to come.
It gets into the vestiges of your lungs, actually can cross into your bloodstream. It can cross the blood-brain barrier. It can cause an inflammatory response. People are more immunocompromised if they've been breathing a lot of smoke. So it really does affect everyone.
PM 2.5s are less than 2.5 micrometers, much smaller than a human hair, and Carrie Mueller, an air quality specialist with Missoula Public Health, says this makes it harder to get them out of the air.
These tiny smoke particles, the PM 2.5, are really difficult to filter out with just a regular filter, but a HEPA filter can actually remove those from the air. That's why it's important to get a HEPA filter or do a DIY box fan with a MERV 13 or higher rated filter.
Mueller said that there are programs that can help offset the cost of air cleaners in different parts of the state, like a program from Northwestern Energy that gives a $100 rebate for certain models. Whatever you end up doing, though, Seelenberg says that being vigilant about smoke is worthwhile.
The stuff that is dangerous from wildfire smoke, the PM 2.5, you're not going to see it. And it may appear that your home is, inside your home, it may look clean and you're not, obviously ash is not falling on your head. But rest assured that smoke is finding its way inside.
That was our Ryan Tuhill reporting tonight out of Missoula. By the way, folks, if you want to learn more about wildfire smoke, you can head to montanawildfiresmoke.org. It's a really great resource, tons of info and links to some of those air quality monitors that you saw on your screen.
Yeah, switching gears now. Every year in Billings, we here at NonStop Local organize with local businesses on what's called a cookout for a cure.
Yeah, who's into a hot dog and a hamburger right now? A month-long event. Yeah, me too. Focused on raising money for the American Cancer Society.
Yeah, right now we have our Justin Dubale live in Billings at that cookout. Justin, how's it going out there? How are things looking? The weather looks like it's cooperating down in Billings.
Hey, Ben and Kat, everything is going really good out here. Right now I'm at the Spoke Shop here in Billings off Broadwater Avenue. And let me tell you something, it's just a beautiful day out here right now. We had a little bit of rain earlier, but the sun has come out. We got our NonStop Local crew over here manning the grill. Everything smells really good, the essence of burgers and hot dogs in the air. They should really consider making a candle out of this kind of stuff. But let me get back to the important stuff. So we've been doing this Cookout for a Cure for the past 15 years, and in those 15 years we've nearly raised $100,000 for the American Cancer Society. So please, everyone, come out here, help us get across that threshold to get past that $100,000 mark. Yeah, we got burgers, hot dogs, chips and drinks. A plate is $5, and all the proceeds, 100% of them, go to the American Cancer Society. And all the food that you see behind me here is donated by local businesses here in Billings. So please come stop by for some good food for a good cause. Back to you, Ben and Kat.
Justin, critical question, maybe the most important question we're going to ask you here on NonStop Local. How do you doctor your hot dog or your hamburger?
Did you ask how I take my hot dog?
Yeah, yeah. How do you doctor it, man? Do you put ketchup and mustard? Are you a relish guy? Do we put cheese on a hamburger? What are we talking about here?
Okay, so I do a double. Usually I'm a big guy, about 6'4".
Love that.
I do I got to do grilled onions on it. Mayonnaise, mustard, ketchup, pickles. I got to do all that. Anything that reminds me back home of In-N-Out, any burger like that, that's for me.
Okay, so you talked about a candle, a hot dog smelling candle, a hamburger smelling candle. If you had to pick, what food would you put into a candle?
Probably a cheeseburger, honestly.
Yeah.
That's what I don't know.
Justin, the folks got a few more hours here to go get that $5 meal, support a great cause, and make sure to say hi to Justin, folks, if you head on there in the next couple hours here on NonStop Local. Justin, go get that In-N-Out style burger. Do us a favor. We'll see you in about a half hour. That's our Justin DeBale joining us tonight. Okay, we have to take our first break here on NonStop Local. Busy Tuesday night. We got a lot more coming up.
Yeah, but don't worry. Weather forecaster Elena Margot, she's going to return with a longer look at that forecast right after this. And then after that, we'll take a look at the real risk of alpha-gal syndrome.
Yeah, if you've never heard of it, this is critical. And why it's here on the rise here in the United States, don't go anywhere, folks. We'll be right back.
Welcome back, everyone. Wanted to show you these other planners. Like I said, fairly dry in Great Falls for the next 3 hours or so. Something similar in the Helena area with a 20% chance for showers there. Whitefish Lake currently pretty deserted. Yesterday and the day before, we had a lot of action on this camera. Of course, one of many that we like to cycle through. Local weather headlines for this Tuesday evening. A chance for some snow in Glacier Park. Yes, could see up to an entire foot of snow in those high elevation mountain peaks over 6,000 feet. We'll take a look at that radar tomorrow, though. We're talking about wind gusts potentially to 60 miles per hour in central Montana. Could impact our roadways, of course, our I-90 corridor in south central Montana as well. Looking ahead, improving radar into the weekend. Taking a look, though, at those high wind warnings, or excuse me, watches and advisories, no warnings, and we'll keep you posted if anything is elevated to a warning. We do have a Fort Peck Lake wind advisory with wind gusts developing to 40 miles per hour between Helena and the Lewistown area. Central Montana's mountains dipping down closer to Livingston along that I-90 corridor. Potential for wind gusts to reach 60 miles per hour. Let's put those maps into motion. Between now and 11 o'clock this evening, we start to see those winds really picking up along the Rocky Mountain front in surrounding areas like Cutbank, notoriously windy areas, picking up into that 40 to 50 mile per hour zone. Browning seeing something similar as well. Winds cascading into that central corridor this evening, tracking 30 plus mile per hour gusts in the Billings area into the eastern plains by tomorrow morning, really tracking those gusty winds again between the Rocky Mountain front and High Line into south central areas like Livingston. By this time tomorrow night or even a little bit later, still tracking gusty winds primarily in central and eastern Montana, back into that 35 to 45 mile per hour range before Thursday morning when we start to see that wind event phasing out. So if you haven't already, it's a good idea right now or after our newscast to go secure that loose debris maybe that's in your yard or things that you're working on in the garden, because those winds really do have potential to stir things up. Moving into the next couple of hours tonight, isolated thunderstorms still likely between Bozeman, Red Lodge, the Billings area. Miles City to Broadus seeing something similar, but a little bit of scattered shower potential and a little bit less of a threat for isolated thunderstorms in the northwest. Now you are noticing things turning blue. Yes, snow potential in Glacier Park. Again, up to a foot in areas over 6,000 feet of elevation, between 2 and 5 inches in areas above 5,000 feet of elevation. Moving into the afternoon tomorrow, tracking a better chance for a little bit of shower activity again between Kalispell and Great Falls. Great Falls with a better chance for thunderstorms to develop into the evening. Something similar in the Helena area, dipping down closer to Red Lodge and Billings by the middle of the night tomorrow night into the morning on Thursday, then phasing into the Dakotas, leaving us with a fairly dry start to Thursday. Afternoon thunderstorms still possible both Thursday afternoon and Friday afternoon, although our mornings show a little bit more sunshine potential ahead of that wet weather that does roll through. Again, thunder and lightning still possible in those afternoons. Looking at our futurecast rainfall model, we are suggesting significant rainfall in areas like Bozeman. Could see over 3/4 of an inch of rain in the Bozeman area, about 2/3 of an inch of rain possible in Helena, 1/3 of an inch possible in areas closer to Billings and Missoula. All right, lows tonight dipping down to the 50s in the eastern portion of our state, low 50s, 50 degrees for Billings, 45 for Great Falls, low 40s in Missoula. Tomorrow's daytime highs, pretty significant gradient from the low 70s in Glendive and Miles City to the 60s in areas closer to Billings and Great Falls, into the 50s for Helena, Missoula, and 40s for Butte, America. These temperatures cooler than average for this time of year, but we do return to average in the next 7 days.
Welcome back, everyone. It's a tick-borne illness on the rise in the United States. Alpha-gal syndrome is a serious, potentially life-threatening allergy to a sugar found in meat from some mammals and even in some medicines.
And it's primarily triggered by the bite of the Lone Star tick, but experts say it can be tricky to diagnose since symptoms can develop weeks or even months after that tick bite. Mandy Gaither has the warning signs to watch out for tonight.
It's a tiny creature with a dangerous bite. Lone Star ticks can be as small as a pinhead, but can expose you to alpha-gal, a sugar molecule found in some animals and medications.
That can kind of confuse our bodies and make us recognize the sugar as a foreign threat. And so in that case, it makes us allergic to the sugar and thus allergic to red meat.
Thomas Hart with Johns Hopkins Bloomberg School of Public Health says alpha-gal syndrome is on the rise in the U.S. The CDC says as many as 450,000 people suffer from the illness. Because cases aren't required to be reported, the agency says many go undiagnosed. Symptoms that can show up after eating red meat or dairy include hives or itchy rash, mouth or eyelid swelling, nausea, vomiting or diarrhea, indigestion, cough or difficulty breathing, dizziness or drop in blood pressure, even anaphylaxis.
These ticks are everywhere. They're spreading rapidly with climate change and with land use change.
Hart says the best protection is to not be bitten by a tick in the first place. Use permethrin insecticide on clothing, and bug spray containing DEET can help ward off the animals. After being outdoors, do a thorough tick check. Hart says these ticks especially like to bite below the waist and belt. And check pets. They can bring the ticks in too. Finally, shower to rinse off any ticks you may have missed.
Then if you have been bitten by a tick, definitely go to the doctor.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Mandy, thank you very much. Okay, final break of the show. Do not go anywhere.
That's right, weather forecaster Elena Margot. She's going to return right here on this desk, bringing you one last look at that forecast. Right over there. Right there.
Right there.
Bye, guys.
We'll be right back.
The team at NonStop Local is working hard to live up to its commitment to you. Get new information and weather any time of the day. Plus breaking news as soon as it happens, all to your phone. Just visit nonstoplocal.com or download the app at Google Play or the Apple Store to get alerts to news as soon as we get it. NonStop Local. We're on it.
Okay, one final check on that forecast. Sounds like tomorrow's going to be the coolest day of the week.
Yes,
Seems
so that's good. We can all put up with that for a Wednesday. It's Wednesday.
Yeah, it's a middle of the day kind of day.
And we got to wear our layers while they're still in season. All right, let's look at the next 7 days, everybody. Temperatures warming from the 60s and 70s tomorrow, back to the 70s and 80s by Friday in the Billings and Miles City areas. Billings with a good chance for wet weather this weekend. By this time next week, 70s and 80s. Cody and Livingston also seeing daytime highs on the rise between now and Friday. Tomorrow, 50s and 60s, but then back into the 70s and 80s. A good chance for more wet weather this weekend. Of course, this continues to change. Yesterday, we were suggesting that Sunday was the shower potential. Now looking like Missoula and Kalispell seeing a little bit better chance for some sunshine on Sunday. That extends into Monday with highs in the 70s, close to seasonal averages. That's where they should be at this time of year. 50s and 60s tomorrow for Helena and Great Falls, slightly below average with a chance for some shower and thunderstorm activity on Saturday. Butte and Bozeman with daytime highs to the 60s for this weekend. Those temperatures slightly cooler, but Friday, the good day to get outside with temperatures closer to 70, which is where temperatures should be for this part of June.
So this means this is the time to break out your sweater, your winter
One more
wear.
time.
One more time. Everyone knows
Your
the best fashion is this fashion.
Yeah, this is true. I have a thermal raincoat and a not thermal raincoat. Thermal raincoat tomorrow morning. Yeah.
Smart decision.
Thanks for joining us, everyone. Have a good night.
Ben Weinman, Kathleen Dozier,